Thomas Tuchel has taken over as Chelsea manager and replaced the club legend Frank Lampard, who was sacked earlier this week after 19 months in charge. The decision was made following disappointing results which saw the London club win just 2 of their last 8 league matches. Tuchel, who became the first German to coach Chelsea after signing a contract until mid-2022, has now reunited with fellow German stars in Timo Werner, Kai Havertz and Antonio Rudiger at Stamford Bridge. The 47-year-old has previously worked with Bundesliga clubs Augsburg, Mainz and Borussia Dortmund in his career before taking over French team Paris Saint-Germain in July 2018, from where he was ousted in December 2020. The German tactician has managed to win 6 trophies during his time at Parc des Princes, including 2 league titles, a French Cup and a League Cup, and 2 French Super Cups, and in August 2020, Tuchel led PSG to the Champions League final for the first time in the club's history. Prior to joining PSG, he won the German Cup with Borussia Dortmund, 68 wins in 108 matches, and led Mainz, 72 wins in 182 matches, to a Europa League qualification spot in the Bundesliga twice. But what happened to Chelsea? Why did they lose patience with Lampard? And what are the expectations of the incoming manager? We'll go through all of these talking points in this video. Lampard rejuvenated the team in the summer of 2019 after taking over from Maurizio Sarri, who was sacked despite winning the Europa League and finishing 3rd in the league. Chelsea played some attractive football and finished 4th under Lampard last season. The transfer ban saw the coach rely upon young English talents like Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Reece James and Callum Hudson-Odoi, but the overall team's performance was not consistent enough to compete for the title. Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich, who took over the London club in 2003, showed faith in Lampard by allowing him to spend €250 million on new signings during the summer transfer window. Big names like Hakim Ziyech, $40 million, Ben Chilwell, $50 million, Timo Werner, $53 million, Kai Havertz, $80 million, Edouard Mendy, $24 million, and Thiago Silva, free agent, came to London. But much to the surprise of Abramovich, they could not turn the London club into title contenders. This is because Lampard couldn't find a system in which all of them could function together and play as one team. The coach kept changing the starting lineup, tried different formations, and even made some compromises. For example, he mainly used Werner on the left wing instead of his favoured position in the centre, but it just didn't work out. Consequently, the London-based club parted company with Lampard, who failed to turn things around at the Bridge. Only 3 Chelsea coaches have a worse point average in the Premier League than Lampard, who averaged 1.67 points in his 57 league matches as a coach. Lampard left Chelsea 9th in the Premier League and overall had 44 wins, 17 draws and 23 losses in 84 games. Abramovich, who's fired 16 coaches since the summer of 2003, responded to Lampard's dismissal. This was a very difficult decision for the club, not least because I personally have an excellent relationship with Frank and have a lot of respect for him. He's extremely honest and works very hard, but under the current circumstances, we think it is better to switch coaches. He is an important icon for this great club and his status remains unaffected here. He will always receive a warm welcome at Stamford Bridge. But now, Tuchel has accepted a difficult challenge at Chelsea, where a top 4 finish on the Premier League table, along with the promise to reach the later stages of the Champions League, is the minimum requirement for a coach to survive. The London club is also betting on the German coach to accelerate the evolution and adaptation of ex-Bayer Leverkusen midfielder Kai Havertz and ex-RB Leipzig striker Timo Werner. The English club spent a staggering £123 million on their transfers in the summer, but they've not clicked since joining. So far, Werner has only recorded 9 goals and 6 assists in 28 games, while Havertz has 5 goals and 6 assists in 24 appearances. According to rumours, the poor performances of Werner and Havertz contributed to the end of Lampard's West London career. There are several other tasks that Tuchel must fulfill until the end of this ongoing season, but his first mission will therefore be to get the maximum output from his compatriots on the pitch, week in and week out. I would like to thank Chelsea for trusting me and my staff. We all have the utmost respect for Frank Lampard's work and the legacy he created at Chelsea. At the same time, I can't wait to meet my new team and compete in the most exciting league. I'm grateful to be part of the Chelsea family now. It's incredible, said Tuchel. The title? Wow, I don't think so. We have to be realistic, he told reporters. When you sign for Chelsea as a player or manager, you sign for the expectation to challenge for titles, the Premier League, the Champions League and all the cups. At the same time, we have to be realistic. There are a lot of teams between us and 4th place, a lot of points between us. Maybe the best thing now, by stepping up in the middle of the season, is not to lose focus when we look too far ahead. Work on a daily basis on the details, on the progression in our game, and the points will follow. We have the capacity to hurt everybody in every competition. It's my job to bring the team to its level as fast as possible, step by step. Tuchel is known to be close to the German players in his squad, and it looks like Antonio Rudiger may benefit from it and might get another chance to revive his Chelsea career. But judging by his recent performances, the 27-year-old centre-back would have to work very hard to convince his new boss for a place in the starting 11. Thiago Silva, whom Tuchel worked with during his managerial stint at PSG, and Kurt Zouma have been the preferred centre-back pairing in defence so far. Another player who's not likely to get more minutes on the pitch under Tuchel is Mateo Kovacic. The German tactician is known to play with a single defensive midfielder during his time at PSG and Dortmund, and Kovacic doesn't look like the kind of player the new manager wishes to start with. Moreover, the 47-year-old is known to prefer a midfielder like N'Golo Kante. This means that Jorginho's time at Stamford Bridge may come to an end. The Italian midfielder was recruited by Maurizio Sarri for €50 million from Napoli. Tuchel may want to stamp his authority straight away by signing another midfielder during the winter transfer window. A number of media outlets are suggesting the London club to move for Declan Rice of West Ham, and this signing would make it more difficult for Jorginho and Kovacic to break into the first team. The German coach has just arrived in London, but there's already speculation about his plans to improve the team by taking advantage of the January transfer market. Reports in the media suggest that Tuchel doesn't want to keep Werner at the London club and would try to bring in Erling Haaland from Germany. Tuchel is a big fan of Haaland. The 20-year-old Norwegian striker is banging in goals for fun at Borussia Dortmund. The former Leipzig forward is attracting interest from a host of top clubs after scoring 21 goals in 19 games this season. Another big signing Tuchel is expected to make is Dayot Upamecano. The 22-year-old French defender from RB Leipzig is one of the most sought-after defenders at the moment due to his great performances in the team led by Julian Nagelsmann. Upamecano, who has extended his contract to 2023 in August 2020, has a €43 million release clause which will come into effect this summer. Pulisic was at his best when the Premier League kicked off, but he's not been able to replicate such form since returning from injury. With so many options for Chelsea in the winger position, the American midfielder will have to work hard for a manager he knows very well from his time at the Signal Iduna Park. The only problem that can hamper Tuchel's career in London is his relationship with Abramovich. In his previous positions, he's repeatedly fallen out with club management, most recently in Paris, where he had an open argument with sporting director Leonardo. At Chelsea, club owner Abramovich and sporting director Marina Granovskala are impatient and merciless. Even Lampard, despite his status as a club icon, couldn't survive their wrath when the results started to get worse. But apart from that, the German coach is looking like the right man for the job, who might be able to get the best out of what we believe is a talented group of players. The team should benefit from his intensive coaching, his attention to detail, and the fact that he can work with a young team. The fact that Chelsea have so many young players in their squad can make life easier for Tuchel, who is known for his ability to nurture young talent at Mainz and Dortmund. In Chelsea's 2-0 defeat against Leicester City last week, 7 players from the starting 11 were 24 years of age or younger. So, we might be seeing the likes of Hudson-Odoi, Mason Mount and Reece James getting more minutes on the pitch. Tuchel is famous for his counter-pressing game. The former PSG manager always wants his side to attempt and win the ball back immediately after losing it high up the pitch, and that was clear for everyone to see during their 0-0 draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Tuchel is going to have plenty of selection headaches going forward as he looks to breathe life back into Chelsea's bid for a top 4 finish, but after the first match, it looks like the coach will play Kante, Azpilicueta and Giroud more often. Chelsea have the quality to punish teams if they can win the ball back high up the pitch, but it'll take a while for Tuchel to implement his system. It'll take a bit of time for Chelsea players to get used to the system as well. Whether or not he'll be given that long remains to be seen.